Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and I have some news. I don't know if you have been floating about my social feeds today, but this is a relatively large bit of news. I'm just making sure I've got everything set up properly here. Minutes before going live, by the way, the camera fell off the side of the desk. So I'm a few minutes late to this live stream, which I had scheduled. In fact, I think the best way to start this... Did you hear something? Oh, hey Jedi, what's up?
Hey, can we come in?
Soon. I'm going to go ahead and give everybody the news, and then talk to Mommy, if you can, about like possibly doing something right now. Because I need to do this, honey. Jedi, I need to do this. Please, work with me. We did a live video on Instagram. I need you to work with me, please. Can you work with? Can you ask Mommy? Thank you. I appreciate that. This is mostly going to be a Jedi-free video, which I'm sure is going to thrill some people. I'll get to that a little more about that in just a moment, though. So I'm just going to go ahead and read from the Facebook post, knowing that many people won't necessarily read the post. I'll be sure to link it as well. If you can't tell by the title, something like that happened. Something that happened. This happened. It's now happening. I also have to explain that, like with anything that I do, with me on my part, my personal stuff, I'm wearing my Chris Pirillo hat, not the actual Chris Pirillo hat. I still have it. Hang on just a second. This is a little weird, but I will wear, as I destroy the play shop, my Chris Pirillo hat. Not my Intel hat. And yes, I have an Intel hat now. Even though I don't really have a physical Intel hat yet. I'm sure that's coming. I'm not sure I've ever known what I wanted to be when I grew up. That's left me open to take advantage of new possibilities without limiting my scope or keeping me tethered to a title. To say I'm non-traditional is putting it mildly. For the longest time, I fought to change the tech industry from the outside in, but now I have a chance to help change the industry from the inside out. And that's a thrilling thing to write. It really genuinely is. I've been at it, since 1996? It's a long time. I've accepted an offer to join Intel to help ensure that the user community always has a seat at the table there, specifically in respect to the Intel graphics group or division or segment. I don't know the terminology yet, but the part of Intel that is Intel Graphics in their new endeavor to listen and engage with tech enthusiasts, PC gamers, and content creators like me to help guide product decisions. So, Chief Community Advocate is my working title. I mean, even then, it was something that we kind of came up with. I was even this close to saying, hey, what about Community Jedi? And honestly, I think it would have worked. But then, it's like, well, daughter's named Jedi, and it's like, I don't know if people would understand that exactly. But the title, Chief Community Advocate, is about as clean and straightforward as what the scope of my role is to be. It's the most fitting designation, and our Odyssey endeavor, Odyssey, you got to be able to spell it, O-D-Y-S-S-E-Y, is just getting off the ground. Intel's taking the effort seriously, and they are. I'll be there to ensure the community always has a seat at the table, so this really isn't about me so much as it is about the greater you. So my voice is remaining my own. They've not asked me to really change anything. They just want me to be me there. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. Any influence that I might have within Intel is now vicariously yours. So the community has weight, like serious weight, at least within, the Intel graphics arena. Can I say that? I really have to learn the terminology. I'm so new. I've always had a deep instinct to fight for the consumers. So much like Tron, that's Tron. He fights for the users. That's always been me, going all the way back. And so that it's a role that it's like a puzzle piece. It just fits. My role within the previously suggested creator-focused platform has shifted to strategic advisor, and this new role at Intel is just going to be taking up a lion's share of my time, attention, energy. I intend to keep broadcasting a Saturday morning live show with Jedi, with subject matter that is intentionally far outside the purview of what Intel does. So it's going to be very personal. My personal feeds are going to be personal. So in many ways, I'm kind of reminded of how I had to manage expectations with Locker Gnome when I went to Tech TV, because I was doing Locker Gnome at the time, had the Tech TV opportunity, thought it was interesting, did it, and then, well, long story short, I've done a lot of things, and this is just yet another one of those things that I'm interested in doing. Just to set expectations, though, I'm always going to like software more than hardware, which was funny, because someone in comments with the Animoji video that I shared, which was fun to do, someone said, hey, I wish you, are you going to come back to doing tech, motherboards and RAM and SSD? I'm like, when did I ever really talk about hardware? I mean, I kind of did, but never. It's not software and experience. Has always been me, right? But understand that this community and the Intel graphics community, it's about the community. It isn't about me. It's about what's driving the community forward as the community itself. So you can be a part of it, and you can become a part of that voice. It's not about me. It's absolutely not about me. And it's something I think everyone needs to understand, because up until this point, it's been Chris Pirillo as a cult of personality, and this is not Chris Pirillo, the cult of personality. It's Chris Pirillo being able to bring his thoughts and ideas and concepts in his processes to a growing community and an endeavor that I think can benefit a lot of people. A win-win-win situation, effectively. So I'm always going to see technology as more of an enabler than a destination. I'm always going to appreciate tech more for what it does rather than simply what it is. But we don't have to think similarly for you to know that Intel Graphics wants your feedback and that I'm making sure it really happens. That's my role. That's my job. So you can join us on this new journey to provide a better visual computing graphics experience to 1 billion people. This is our Odyssey. I'd love to see you join discussions, interactions, conversations, whatever we can do. Like I said, I'll link the Facebook post, or I'll send you check it out in the video description or wherever the heck it's going to be. There are a lot of moving parts with what's happening right now. So I'm still getting my footing within Intel. I'm going to take off the Chris Pirillo hat, by the way. Seriously, this was like one of the original. This is like before Zazzle existed, before those e-commerce sites existed. We did our own embroidered. It was nice. It was neat. We sold like 2. I was one of the buyers. So yeah. Someone else on Twitter earlier, because Twitter's been kind of alive with activity. I did a very brief Instagram live video that'll be gone in 24 hours. You can watch that. Just did a Facebook live video on my own channel as well, or my own profile. That I deleted after streaming. Let me go ahead and turn that volume down, because I want to read exactly how I responded to an individual who's asking, well, what does a chief community advocate do? What is that? Because the words made sense to me. It evoked action. I didn't just want to be like a community manager, because you can't really manage community, right? You can guide it, you can foster it, you can give it the tools that it can succeed, and as long as it's working in lockstep with the thing that it's interested in, it's a win-win-win situation, right? So I've always felt myself like a creator advocate, user advocate, and advocate just works, right? Just a representative. So that's kind of how I responded. The tweet exists. He or she listens, accommodates. I'm getting all these notifications. He or she listens, accommodates, facilitates, participates, accelerates, communicates, ensures that the greater user community has a voice, a place at the table. He or she is their champion within the organization. The role does, honestly, what the community needs it to do, which means in many ways, what I need to do, what I'm going to do, is going to be largely dictated by what the community wants. And I'm not even joking about that. That's kind of thrilling. I've come up with a couple of ideas. I don't know if I want to share them, because I don't want to set false expectations. But some really interesting things that I've never really done before. I'm very happy to step outside my comfort zone for that. But this is very it's a fitting role. This is something that I'd honestly do anyway. And I think I've even said that in previous videos. When I've talked about it, when I get really passionate and fired up, it's usually, again, I don't want to get into revisionist history here, but, it's always been about software. Not always, like more often than not, like 99% of the time, like software. And so that's not different. And Intel's taking software just as seriously as they are hardware, as they are experience. And that's part of what's titillating for me. But I'm going to be trying some new things for myself. You can teach an old dog new tricks. So I'm just to look at some of the comments here. Earl Green, thank you again for your support. You got the little C-3PO icon there. This job is well suited to your skills and experience, Chris. Thank you for recognizing that. I grew, to the point where just talking about what I know people want me to talk about, I wanted to get something else from those conversations. I always enjoyed the geek outs I did with Jerry. Barnacle-Lee's Nerdgasm, I really did, and I wish we could have done more of them. It just didn't happen for one reason or another. But I always enjoy playing off of other people and having conversations that are just more than bubblegum and in the moment and talking about something that's just a flash in the pan. And so that said, Jerry, I think we're going to have another geek out at some point in the future. When I get when I get things set and settled, there may be an Intel graphics geek out with Chris and Jerry. Don't know how often, don't know how frequent, don't know how soon. But I also would be doing the same thing with other tech enthusiasts, PC gamers, content creators in general. I want to be able to talk to people who produce video using video editing software or audio, media software that can take advantage of the underlying hardware and talk to them about their craft. So it's not just about, hey, let's geek out over benchmarks and specs, because quite honestly, I know it excites a good portion of this growing community, but I think there's a deeper story to be told, and that's if I have a flavor that I want to add to this, what they used to call it, stone soup, like. Where everybody in the community kind of throws a little bit of their own something into it, and before you know it, you have this just amazing soup of ideas, theoretically. So just looking at the comments here, some good questions. You will start a new channel on this job. It'll be, if I do quote-unquote tech content or talk tech, it will more than likely be with Intel graphics and through Intel graphics. And I'm much more inclined now to separate the Chris Pirillo person and persona from that which I know many people have known me for. That is, like, talking about technology and trends and all that stuff. So if you really do want that from me, I will tell you that where you're going to get most of it now is going to be Intel graphics. I would like to be able to do a lot more live video streaming, a lot more interplay, playing with a lot more hardware. Gaming, even, believe it or not, and as I learn my way around and through the works, that's just we're gonna find a groove. The good news is that we're really in many ways just kind of beginning on this odyssey. I've been through a personal odyssey of my own. I'll never get into the details with that, but I know what an odyssey can be. So. Yeah, you can check out the hashtag Join the Odyssey. I'll continue to do live video feeds on Saturdays with Jedi in this channel. Jezer May says, happy for you, Chris. I remember meeting you in London around 2012. The talk you gave us completely off the cuff was amazing. Expect more of that. Like, there's certain things I really want to do. I can't talk about it because I want to make sure I can do it. But there's some really fun things I really want to do. Like, imagine, like, going from having these ideas that could really be impactful and having to rely at the resources at your disposal and your own, not limitations. You got to play to your strengths, right? And there's so many things that I can do, but a lot of things that I can't do. And so I always found a way to complement, those what's the best word to use in this sense? Complement my strengths with, complement my weaknesses with somebody else's strengths. So I actually like working on a team. I really do, because it gives me a chance to focus on what I do best. So imagine going from one person to now, I don't know how many people work at Intel. Granted, the scope is a little large, but more than one person, right? And there are certain things that I will be able to do for the community and with the community that I couldn't do, on my own. Let's see here. Shadow River says, well, with GPUs, there will be a lot of gaming. That is true, but GPUs do more than just that. And they absolutely, even today, they do way more than just that. And that's just part of the story, that as I mentioned in the Facebook post, this visual graphics experience, visuals. And visuals is an all-encompassing term. That's I think, important to note. It's visual. I'm a visual, even though I have to, like, put my glasses down, I've always been a visual learner. I'm always interested in this stuff. I tweeted out to one of the people that I haven't met that I know of in person yet, because I've actually known a few individuals who work at Intel, and they've known of me, and they're actually really happy about me coming to Intel because they know of me, right? And we've actually met too. Bob Duffy being one of them. You can check out the retweet that I did. One of the people, I guess, does stuff with VR. I'm like, okay, one of the first things I want to do is find a rig where I can play, what is it, Vader Immortal, the VR game that Lucasfilm or LucasArts, whatever their studio is, ILM or whichever division of Star Wars world it comes out of. I want to do that. I haven't done it yet. Believe it or not. Now I have an excuse. Now I can have fun professionally. So I'm absolutely going to go. I'm going to go there. I can't really talk about too many details in relation to what Intel's doing. You're never going to hear anything from me that hasn't already been made public, because that's just not what we do. I'm a part of a team, and there's certain things that I can do, be there for the community, and there's certain things that I will not do because it's just, I work on this team, and I'm kind of in between in that sense. But honestly, I think y'all are on the same page as Intel anyway. It's just kind of putting a finer point on that and refining that, and kind of. And maybe this is a larger scope than I think maybe I could handle, but Intel's got their thing, right? And they let people live in social. But I feel that, and this is me, again, with Chris Pirillo hat, this is my feeling, for community at work, y'all got to know there's a human being on the inside of Intel. That's my opinion. 110% my opinion. That's my approach to things. But for me, I want, in the Intel graphics community, for you to know that, like, I'm a human being, and I have thoughts and feelings and experiences and perspectives and opinions and other interests, right? We're walking Venn diagrams. That's how I've described community in the past, even. So I'm not going to keep the Chris Pirillo hat on, nor should I keep it around. Just assume that anything for the indeterminate future will be Chris Pirillo talking as Chris Pirillo, because honestly, that's how I feel, and I feel that's how I can benefit Intel graphics and Intel vicariously to a large degree. I don't think Intel has ever they've brought in a couple of individuals who've had very strong footing within their respective communities, so this is not really an unknown variable for Intel from everything that I've seen from the outside, from people who've had a pretty good presence pre-Intel and now doing very important things at or with Intel. I will tell you that they made me cry. Not in a bad way. I should be careful about this. You have basically orientation. That's not a shock. And Intel's done some amazing things. And this is what always gets me. And you can go back. I've had these conversations with Earl. Like they're doing things that change lives. Right? It's not 3D printing that's interesting to me. It's what that does and how that changes lives and the stories that come out of that. And so, I've seen some things that just like, wow. I was like, okay, it's wonderful to see. And you're going to hear a lot of that coming from me, even it rolling on, because I've certainly had these discussions at least with one of my managers. I can call them managers. I have managers, not in a Hollywood kind of way. Handlers, shall I say? I don't know if they know what they're signed up for. I don't know if they know what they're getting themselves into. Like, do you want me to go on full on Chris Pirillo? Do you need 80% Chris? What's the I don't know what the tolerance level, everybody's Pirillo tolerance level. I can say that I've made people laugh, which is a good thing. I think the world needs more humor. So this isn't me, it's us. You're welcome to join. provide feedback. I don't know what you know of Intel, probably know more than me. Intel graphics specifically, I'm telling you, like, this is the time, because they're doing things that, from an outsider's perspective, I think they need to do. And that's me, again, with my Chris Pirillo. I would say that one way or another. Not being someone who's necessarily been known for talking about... Let me ask you this. When was the last time you ever... I'll give you any time. When have you ever heard me talk about a video card? That's, by the way, not a prerequisite for this position, nor working at Intel. Like, they didn't say, well, Chris, you're going to need to change the curtains in your, play shop to blue. Like, no, they didn't do that at all. Like, it's really, I got to say, people have been relatively accommodating. And it's just it's a nice feeling to know that I can take these ideas and really make them work for the greater good. And like I said, instead of trying to change the industry from the outside in and running into walls, I'm effectively going to attempt to change it from the inside out. And with community buy-in, like, right? It's like, this is your chance, right? This is your chance to have a voice. That's kind of what's most exciting about it. I don't have to talk about anything. Like, all I have to do is just listen. That's it. I can talk. Of course, I'm going to do that anyway. Am I going to be at GDC? Asks Reps Up 100. I absolutely am. And, that's something, again, follow the join the Odyssey hashtag and Intel Graphics on Twitter. I'm going to be doing other things. Like, Intel Graphics currently has other social handles, but I'm going to be looking to kind of accelerate that. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. I have ideas. I'm teaming with ideas. Don Draper says, if we see some Star Wars graphics cards come out, we know who pushed it. Yes! Even Chris Hook, who's largely responsible for me being able to do this, he's tweeted a couple of images. If y'all were paying attention in social, which, I wouldn't expect you would, because it's like nobody watches, but he said a couple things. And, today it was the minion dressed as, like, I think, a Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker. The other day he tweeted, "May the Force be with you." I'm like, Chris. Thinking, they're going to know. People are going to find out. Last night I tweeted what's the thumbnail of the photo, me at my first Intel PC. So that's the Easter egg. What I tweeted last night, and part of the thumbnail of the PC, if you look really closely, let me see if I can, how can I pull this up? Trying to think here. Trying to think, but nothing happens. It's an old curly quote. Where is it? Where would I have put that? I'm trying to remember, because I've got so many things going on left and right. No, I'm not going to be able to find it again. Oh, I know what I can do. I'm so silly. I'm just going to open up my Twitter feed. Derp. And show you if Twitter loads. Wow, that took a long time to load, didn't it? Okay, so it's a truncated version, a cropped version of me. You look on Twitter, and I know that's way too bright. Hang on just a second. Let me turn down the brightness a bit. There you go. So there it is, Intel Inside, right above the Packard Bell logo. That was my first Intel PC. Mine. I'd played on Intel PCs before at home computers, in the day and age of home computers, but this was mine. And even then, I cared more about the software than the hardware. But it was an Intel Inside. Like, they're not doing that anymore, so don't confuse it with branding. Like, I'm sure, like, comms over at Intel's going, ah, who, what? You know, like, I hope to make their job interesting, not challenging. So, anyway, let's see here. I am just scrolling through to see if I see any other Star Wars History Archives. Oh, cool! I didn't know that was a YouTube channel. I'll have to subscribe. Looking for any other questions that might have come in. Quite a few questions quite a few comments that came in before the actual live broadcast, which I appreciated. It was nice to have you guys tuned in. So I'm probably, if I do any kind of live streams in the foreseeable future, they will be personal, more than tech, if only because I've got to separate myself, and I don't want to conflate that with that. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not an average person, but like, you know, you may have a personal life and a 9-to-5 job, which, by the way, this isn't. It doesn't feel like it, right? Like, I get my work done, and they know I'm getting my work done. It just works. Like, we've got a groove. We're getting there, right? But you separate yourself, right? You are not your job title. And so the problem I've always had is that I've just done what I felt was intuitive, right? Something that made sense. So I was never, that's what I was trying to write in the preamble on the Facebook post was, you know, I never thought, oh, I want to be vice president of, it never entered my mind. So I have hang-ups with titles. It's more important for other people to understand that position more than anything, in my estimation. Again, wearing the Chris Pirillo hat. The whole idea, though, that what I might be known for to some is as a Star Wars fan, certainly. In fact, a lot of the initial, this was funny to me, a lot of the initial congratulations this morning on Twitter were actually from my Star Wars communities. Like, the people that I follow, you know, the people that follow me because of Star Wars stuff, they were like, whoa! It's like, that's cool. I thought, just a note, FYI. So, you know, you have a chance to separate yourself from your job or your career. You have that personal time, that personal life. So, if you will, kind of just accommodate it like that, right? Think about it like that. So now, my drive and my interest is in specifically enabling a user community to effectively tell us what's on their mind. Tell us what's on your mind. Give us critical feedback, right? Brutal, honesty feedback. And we're listening, or at least I am. That's what I'm there for. And engaging and talking and communicating. You know, being as real as anything, and being a human being too. But now I have to further separate myself from that, and being perceived as that is the only thing I do. No, Chris Pirillo he's more complex than that. And so my personal feeds are still going to be my personal feeds. And I know that's going to not be good news for a lot of people out there who have followed me specifically for that stuff. That stuff will still be happening. But like I said, it'll be happening largely within Intel Graphics. And I'm sure a bit of it's going to leak into the personal feed stuff. But I don't anticipate having a lot of that pour into this channel. You're really not going to hear me talking a lot about Intel on this channel outright. A bit, sure, but this is, you know, I want to, this is a time where Jedi's growing older. Saturday mornings are special to me. I kind of want to give it a run. I want to say, I know maybe only Jedi and I are going to be interested in the videos that we're doing now, but I really want to do them for her, because she enjoys watching herself as she was a kid, so I can only imagine her looking back on Saturday mornings and say, wow, we ate that fun cereal, and we had fun with that toy, and we were doing this and that, and just to remember, right? And that to me is a special moment. That to me is what technology does. You know, it's not the camera that I'm using. It's that moment that I captured of me almost chipping my tooth on a milk bottle. Or her getting excited when she sees a Pez dispenser. How do you like that, Liz? Pez dispenser. I'm a quick study. So expect more personal stuff from me. Even on Intel, even on the side of Intel, it'll be personal stuff. So I don't know where... I don't know... I know where I end and begin. It's how that fits within the scope of being and elevating people who are really, really, really driven by, that which Intel is making specifically for them. And certainly I am too. I'm as much a consumer as the next person. I just happen to be more of a DIYer than a DI buyer. I always like talking to DIYers, like Joel Telling, 3D printing nerd, or Barnacle Nerdgasm, Nerdglasm. I almost gave him a new handle there, because I don't know what they know, and so I always like listening and talking and watching, because I want to learn something else. I want to revel in their excitement, and so that to me is probably the most exciting thing. So I know some people are going to say, "Well, wait, he's not a this, that, or the other thing." Yeah, but that's actually a good thing. I have a chance to learn. I have a chance to expand my horizons, and you have a chance to teach me. And that's the type of people that I would like to find for this community. Teachers, not by trade, but like people who like educating and helping, enabling, right? Because that to me is the crux of building a community of positivity that's not filled with gatekeepers, that's not filled with people, who are treating it like an elitist type of society. I'm like, no, dude, like that's not that's not what I would want for a community. I would want just the opposite. I want a community that's open and welcoming and flourishing and just present, right? And that's something that with the rise of social media, some of that has been lost. I have inclinations as to where I think we can make it happen for Intel Graphics, but who knows? Jedi does have her own channel, Adam Smith. We're not doing anything in it right now. Maybe we should be doing the Jedi video in her channel. Actually, now that I think about it, God, well, then what will we do in my channel? What will we do? Like I said, I'm happy in showing you like the Star Wars discoveries. Like, I find stuff on sale. I mean, I could do that. I know not a lot of people would be interested in that. That's why I drug Jedi into it. But, like, I found this today. It's been hard to find. And thank you, Liz, for taking a look. The 3.75-inch Mimban Trooper, not the 6-inch Trooper. I already had a dupe of that. I'm looking for the 3.75-inch. They've been hitting Walmarts, but not in our area. Our area is not that great for the Mimban Troopers. So here, I'm going to open up another one. I got one for Christmas. I put it in Diana's stocking, you might remember, as a joke, because she destroyed the Grievous can. That's an inside joke. You would have had to watch the Vlogmas from a few months ago. Is this going in? So there's a Grievous. It will go next to my Grievous collection, because I have one in the Hot Wheels bin over there. Right there. So, yeah, I don't know where we're going to continue to do it. I feel we need to do it in CP for now. Jedi is going to... She'll come into her own. I mean, trust me. She's going to watch the Instagram live video we just did. She's ready to take over, dude. Like, big time. Big time. And that's what I hope technology can do. I have a feeling because I'm going to be doing new things with video games that I've never really played. Now I can. Now I will. That's going to be kind of a part to understand. I'll be playing, and I'm going to actually be turning to people that know how to play these games to teach me how to play these games. And there's going to be some... I think we're going to have fun. Is what I'm saying. Even without me picking popcorn kernels out of my teeth. Apologies for that. But, as Jedi watches me play video games, she's always wanted to emulate, right? And this is where, with Jedi, I go all the way back, and she never wanted to be, not necessarily treated like a baby. When she was a baby, she wanted to eat like daddy, or eat like mommy. And even now, it's kind of... I guess it's kind of the child development thing, but sometimes she'll watch a video of her as a baby, and even though to me she's 4 years old, she's still a baby, a kid, but she'll pretend to be a baby again. She'll not regress. It's more creative regression, not like an actual psychological regression. Like she's role playing, right? But like when she sees me typing at a keyboard, like here, she wants her own keyboard. When she sees me at a computer, she wants her own computer, and so. When she watches me playing video games, maybe I'm the only parent on earth, can't believe I'm saying this, who would actually encourage that. Like, yes, Jedi, play as much video games as you want. Here you go, League of Legends. Here you go. Is it League of Legends? Hang on, now I gotta Google it. I'm thinking Pac-Man, right? She loves Wreck-It Ralph. She loves watching that. I know it's Apex Legends, but wasn't League of Legends a video game? Fortnite. I haven't played that yet, but now I can. It's not that I couldn't before, but like, hang on, I gotta fact check myself. League of Legends. Yeah, okay, it was a thing. Okay, I wasn't too far off. So I'm actually gonna say, yeah, play. Here you go, play. Are you having fun? Okay, well, do you want to show other people that you're having fun? Let's stream it. Esports is a thing. I'm sorry, but like, if she's in, that's awesome. If anything I can do to encourage that kind of discovery process, or just helping her find something new, because I'd be happy, because there's certain things, and now we're getting like way into the weeds here, but like there's certain things that I just feel she doesn't have similar advantages as others for, and there's so many things that happen that I think she may have an idea of what a girl should be, what a woman should be, what somebody should be, and I'm trying to counterbalance that with, no, you can be anything, and I probably take it to an extreme, right? But I'm really big into gender neutrality, huge into gender neutrality, and I always have been, right? And I want her to feel, how she's going to feel, and be defined by how she feels, not necessarily how other people or how she believes other people want her to feel and want her to be. And part of that, I think, gaming, finding that groove in gaming, I think is a part of it. I certainly didn't have it. I mean, Atari 2600, I'm a classically trained, not a joke, retro gamer. And anything I can do to kind of expose that to her and do it myself, I think is, showing her that it's a possibility and she can do it. She's not quite there yet with the hand-eye coordination and trying to figure out what do video games do. She knows of them, like I said, through Wreck-It Ralph primarily, so it shouldn't be a problem to introduce her to Pac-Man. Every once in a while we fire up the Dream Arcade. She wants to play a video game on there, doesn't really know what she's doing, but just kind of yeah. So I'll be encouraging Jedi to play video games. That's completely separate from my role, but man, it may happen akimbo, which would be kind of exciting, to be there. You give her any puzzle games that have other ways to be creative and create learning experiences. So yes, I found a Puzzle Town set while thrifting, a vintage Puzzle Town set, amazing, for $7, $5, crazy amount of pieces. She loves playing with that. She's now into the Lego bricks, not beyond Duplo. I mean, she's played with Duplo, but I found some Lego bricks thrifting, as you caught probably in the live video. So yeah, we like just putting those in front of her and just have her do something and using her imagination for stuff. So she's into a lot of that kind of independent construction. Yeah, don't worry about it. She likes the puzzle books, the Look and Find, so we've gotten a few of those for her. And so we're making progress. I don't feel like she's for wanting anything. But either way, I don't have much else to say. I just wanted to do this video largely to give you my take, my perspective, the announcement. I'm just one person that now works at this multi-person company. I have no... That's a horrible way of positioning it. But I'm there for the community and to have conversations about what Intel graphics can do to make things better. I'm going to, hopefully be able to do the things I would like to do and to be able to do it with some of you too. If you consider yourself interested in that kind of stuff. Some people don't. But for everybody else, yeah, I'll still do the Star Wars stuff here. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Dinner time, I think, is happening now. Stay tuned. Just like the Animoji said, stay tuned. I should just upload Animoji video now. How about that? 30 seconds, Chris Pirillo every day, Animoji video. I get why people thought it's gimmicky, but I was like, I just needed a way to how do I do this? And the Animoji worked. Stay tuned. I'm still here. I'm still alive. Follow me across social. I don't know what I'm going to do with my email newsletter right now. I think that's the ChrisPirillo.com redirect. I probably need to update that. It has been a while. But it's just trying to find its place, trying to find where the puzzle pieces fit for me now is where I am. But that's what I had to say. Thank you, everybody. I love you. I appreciate you. At this point, however, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.